I think we do. We do it a little bit every time.
Ja. Your head, me? Yeah. Is this it? That's fine. You can pull back there. Okay.
Yep. One stop. Yep. Who quit that? They get the quit. Right. One stop up. Stop. Stop. Yep.
STADIO.
Okay. Nothing gets. So I think we could put the.
Could I have the attention of the graduates for a moment? I would just like to explain the procedure that you need to follow when you come to the stage today. First of all, very important that when you come forward, you have three things in your possession. The first is your name card, your seating card, which the institution gave you. The second, your hood or belt, which should be over your arm. And the third is a yellow card we gave you and asked you to complete. Please make sure that this card is completed and that you do bring it with you when you come forward. If you don't have one, don't stress. As soon as I'm done, we'll bring one to you. You will then be asked to stand up row by row. You're going to queue on the outside, on the veranda, from where you'll come onto the stage one by one. It is important to take your mask off as soon as you walk onto the stage. Next to the podium here, we give there's a black mat stuck on the carpet. Please stand on that. So please look at that direction to ensure that you get a good photo. You'll be capped. When you are capped, take another photograph from the camera situated on the these photographs, you need to order them. And you can order them from the photographers situated in the hall next door. That is where you get greeting cards from. You're also welcome to bring your family and friends along for any other photograph that you'd like to have taken. We have a number of studios. Do not have one of these yellow cards, please just raise your hand and somebody will bring one to you. Thank you very much and enjoy your day.
Good morning, graduates and esteemed guests, and welcome to what is an event of firsts for some of you, being your first graduation experience. These are also our first ceremonies of 2022. Welcome back to in person. And I'm pleased to announce that we are also streaming them for the first time this year. So welcome to the viewers as well. Graduates, feel free to send the link of the stream sent to you via SMS to any guests who could not attend in person today. For those of you who have not yet seen it, we would also like to screen our latest advert for you.
For STADIO, qualification isn't just qualification. It's more South Africans equipped with the education they deserve, with 5 faculties, 50 accredited qualifications, undergraduate and postgraduate studies. You can work and study with one of Africa's leading distance learning experts, or study full-time at one of our 7 campuses. Join a higher education institution that's flexible and affordable. Apply now for our 2nd semester intake at stadio.ac.za.
At this moment, I would like to request that we all please rise for the entering of the academic procession. Please stand. Very please be seated. We just have a technical issue in the back. We won't be playing musical chairs today. Okay, thank you, guests and graduandi, diplomandi as well. I know that it is April, but this is not a joke. So if we can please all rise again, the academic procession will be coming through. Thank you.
By virtue of the power vested in me as a representative of the Chief Executive Direct Officer, I constitute the gathering of STADIO.
You may be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and colleagues here on the stage to this very joyous occasion. From my side, very welcome. I know it's the pinnacle of your studies so far, so welcome from my side. It is now my privilege to welcome Mr. the CEO of STADIO, to do the welcoming address for us. Mr. Forster.
Thank you, Professor Meinhardt. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A warm and hearty welcome to this STADIO's Autumn 2022 graduation ceremony. I must say it's an early start this morning, 8:30 start, and I see that I'm very glad that you've survived the early morning Johannesburg traffic. So well done to you all. It is quite an achievement to get through this traffic this time of the morning. But please now take a deep breath, sit back and relax and enjoy this special occasion with us. Ladies and gentlemen, as an institution, we are very excited to be allowed to offer venue-based graduation ceremonies again. It is just so much better than to do a graduation ceremony via online or virtual. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we still have to adhere to some COVID-19 regulations. One of them being that we're only allowed 50% venue capacity this morning for this indoor event. That means we're only allowed one, or in certain cases, two maximum guests per graduate. We know that it is not ideal, but I think you all still agree with me that it's better than having an online graduation ceremony. But for those who cannot be here this morning, the friends and family that couldn't be here due to these restrictions, we have made a plan for you. This event is being live streamed to everybody at home, so they can follow the procedures, the proceedings this morning. So also a warm and hearty welcome to all of them that join us via live streaming this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me the opportunity just to welcome a few people in person. Firstly, on the stage, Professor Divya Singh, the Chief Academic Officer, as well as member of the STADIO Board of Directors. Welcome to you, Professor Singh. Ms. Shariska Knutse, the Executive Head responsible for distance learning at STADIO. Welcome to you, Shariska. Dr. Alban Jacobs. Dr. Jacobs, where is Dr. Jacobs? There at the back. Dr. Jacobs is our Director of STADIO Namibia. A warm welcome to you, sir. Then a special word of welcome to our guest speaker this morning and an old friend and dear friend of STADIO, Dr. Simon Kekana. Dr. Kekana, as always, it is a real honor having you here with us this morning. And as always, we are looking forward to your keynote address. Welcome to the academic staff, the people that went the extra mile for our students, and to the support staff. In special word of mention to the Deputy Registrar, Tarina Viljoen, and her team under the leadership of Caroline, responsible for graduations. Welcome to you all. These are the people that are responsible for all the arrangements and making these events possible. Also, welcome to the members of the media, those of you who are joining us this morning. Then a real warm welcome to all the friends and family members. Your attendance makes this event very special. And I think every graduate here this morning really appreciate you being here. Every year I say this to the graduates and to the family and friends. I don't think you always understand as family and friends what this means to the graduates. A lot of them won't be here this morning if it wasn't for your support. That tap on the shoulder when they really struggled with a research proposal, or that late night cup of coffee when they struggled to do their economics assignment. Those are the things that really push them and pull them through and get them to be where they are this morning. So welcome to all the family and friends. That brings me to our VIPs this morning, our diplomandi and graduandi. Let me start off by saying, congratulations, well done, you've made it. I think we owe them a big round of applause. Today is your day. You've earned it, so today you should also celebrate your achievement. Enjoy every moment of it. We as an institution know that it is not easy doing a higher education qualification. There's less than 10% of the South African population is in possession of a higher education qualification. But to do it via distance learning makes it even more special. And our graduates at STADIO, especially our distance learning graduates, is even more special in the sense that 90% of the graduates here this morning studied towards their qualifications while they full-time employed. And a lot of you are also married and are parents and have all those commitments at home as well. So for that, we want to salute you this morning, and we really want to congratulate you and say as an institution, we're extremely proud of you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the majority of these graduates started their studies with the old Southern Business School. Today, they will receive a STADIO degree or diploma certificate. So a lot of you will ask the question, why the changes then? And I'm not going to bore you with all the benefits of such a new comprehensive institution, but I want to focus on one or two of the clear benefits of this amalgamation of the different private higher education institutions into one big new STADIO. If we look at the landscape of the private higher education institutions in South Africa, we see that the majority of institutions are basically single faculty or single school institutions. With us amalgamating 4 well-established higher education brands into the new STADIO, we have created a big comprehensive institution. An institution that offers multi-modes of delivery, not just distance learning, but distance learning, contact learning, as well as online learning. Not an institution with just one campus. STADIO Higher Education have 7 This new comprehensive STADIO institution offers a variety of schools. Just to name a few, we have the School of Business and Commerce, the School of Management and Administration, the School of Law, the School of Policing, Education, Media and Design, Information Technology, and even a fashion school. Soon to come would be the School of Humanities, as well as the School of Architecture. And then we are also hard at work behind the scenes in establishing a new School of Engineering. Also in this STADIO group, we have 2 other brands, ladies and gentlemen, namely AFDA and Mole Park Education. AFDA, well known for their qualifications in the film, as well as in the performing arts. And then Mole Park, a leading private higher education institution offering qualifications for the financial and banking sector. So you can see STADIO is now a real comprehensive institution. An institution that is a real alternative for our big public universities. I don't know if you all know that STADIO already have plus minus 38,000 students as we sit here today. That makes us one of the 7 biggest higher education institutions in the country. With this scale, ladies and gentlemen, we believe that we can really make a material contribution to addressing the skill shortages in our country and really adding to meeting the demand for higher education in our country. This comprehensive institution can now really widen access to many more South Africans as well as other people on our continent to have access to higher education. For those of you who didn't know, STADIO is also a listed entity, listed on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. And that brings me to the last real benefit that I want to share with you. By being a listed entity, it allows STADIO to launch our Kulisa student share scheme. So I want you all now to really listen carefully on what this Kulisa share scheme is all about. As from today and during this week, all postgraduate students, meaning those students who obtain their honors, masters, and doctorate degrees, will not just receive their qualifications at this graduation ceremony. They will also receive a share certificate where they become shareholders in this institution and co-owners of this institution. I stand still to be corrected, but I think we are the only institution, not just in South Africa, but in the world, to offer this scheme to our students. So no more lip service of partnering with students. STADIO took the step to really partner with these students and really to contribute and make that first step in contributing to you creating your generational wealth for your families. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that good news, I want you all now to sit back and enjoy the rest of this graduation ceremony with us. Welcome to you all.
Thank you, Mr. Forster, for the welcoming address. And can I also take this opportunity to say thank you for the leadership and that we are proud to be associated with STADIO. And like Mr. Forster said, the first graduation ceremony of its kind. It's a privilege for me this morning to welcome on stage our keynote speaker, Dr. Simon Kekana. Like Mr. Forster said, Dr. Kekana has been a long-standing friend and colleague of this institution. And I am really looking forward to his address. Now, Dr. Kekana started his education and matriculated in Pretoria. He went on and obtained several degrees, including a doctoral degree from the University of Johannesburg, the then Rand Afrikaans University, a PhD degree. He also obtained additional qualifications and has vast professional experience. Starting out as an assistant teacher, and this is where we can learn from Dr. Kekana, headmaster, lecturer, campus director, and then deputy director of the National School of Government. And the list goes on. He is also an active academic, supervising PhD students, external examiner of PhD students, a business development manager, and that list also goes on. He's held several leader positions, from being a chairman to a director, to the chairman of the board of the Old Southern Business School and the academic board up to date. So he is a seasoned academic as well. On top of that, like any good academic, he has published in accredited articles a long list of publications. He's presented conference papers all over. So you'll hear later when he starts talking to us, we can listen to him. Dr. Kekana, welcome to this graduation ceremony, and we are waiting in anticipation to hear what you're going to tell us. Dr. Kekana.
I want to thank the Master of Ceremonies for his kind words, and I want to greet all the people in this environment. I want to thank the Chief Executive Officer, all protocol observed. I want to thank you as diplomandi and graduates who are presenting themselves this morning to receive their qualifications. I want to thank you also as their parents, their guardians, family members, to give me this opportunity to address you this evening. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to this graduation ceremony at STADIO. The occasion attests to the shared determination that all South Africans should have access to the best education that is available. It attests to our shared commitment to ensure that every South African, regardless of where they come from or the circumstances in which they live, should be able to realize their full potential. STADIO was established to correct a grave imbalance, to make university education accessible, affordable, and relevant to the people of our country. This university is founded on the conviction that education is the most effective instrument to improve the lives of our people and develop our communities. And education still remains the most effective tool to bridge the chasm of inequality that runs through our society. And it is for that reason that this morning, I thought that I should address you on the following topic. Ipsam scientia potestas est. Ipsam scientiam potestas est. I've just said that education remains the most effective tool to bridge the chasm of inequality that runs through our society. It is through education that we can realize the goal of a non-racial, non-sexist, and democratic society. It is through education that we can give full expression to the rights of all the people that are enshrined in our Constitution. In education, we are still grappling with the legacy of a deeply unequal and materially divided society. It is one of our major tasks as a democratic South Africa to build schools and universities that become centers of excellence and enlightenment. We must build institutions that equip students with the skills and capabilities to thrive in a modern economy and the consciousness to contribute to the betterment of society. And that is where you come in. With the qualification that you are getting today, we are hoping that you are going to contribute to the betterment. You will be able to contribute to the betterment of society. We must build institutions that enable graduates to compete in the global arena and face a rapidly changing future with confidence. Before you got your qualification, maybe you stood up to speak in many forums, and maybe you were not so confident. But now, after today, you'll be able to speak with authority. You'll have the confidence to contribute to society what we have learned here in our institution. In his analysis of education, of the education system of Tanzania in 1976, Mwalimu Julius Nyerere was concerned that education could discourage the integration of the educated people back into society. He was worried that as people got educated and they got more and more degrees, they were going to isolate themselves from society. And indeed, we have such individuals in society. So he said, but education must do the opposite. It must promote an attitude of equality. It must promote an attitude of communality. It must do away with inequality. It must do away with intellectual arrogance and individualism, that I got this education for myself, for my family, and for my extended family, and for nobody else, and that no society must benefit from the education that I have. I must say that Mwalimu's concerns were real, and our graduates, you, as you are sitting here today, you must safeguard us against inequality, against intellectual arrogance, against individualism, and against anything that will take away from us as communities the opportunity to be developed by you as people who now have a certain qualification that can move us forward. Instead, you, from this graduation must become an enabler of our communities. You must be able to give back to the communities where you come from. You must be able to improve the lot of the people who live in your communities. And it is for that reason that I decided that today, the topic that I will speak about, ipsa scientia potestas est. So education is the foundation of human development. And this explains why it has been the key priority of our government since a long time ago, that education must be tackled, education must be made accessible to all people in a society. You know, permit me here to read a quotation from one of the books that was written by Chinua Achebe. Chinua Achebe, amongst the many books that he wrote, one of them was known as The Arrow of God. When you go back and when you have time, when you're relaxing after this excitement, you must look for that book and read it. In that book, there is a chief priest in a village, not in a church, you understand? Because old communities in the past, they used to have spiritual priests for communities. So the chief priest was the guardian of the morals of a society, of the education of society, initiation schools, so on and so forth. So everybody revered, everybody was afraid, everybody respected the chief priest at that time. So he writes about the chief priest in The Arrow of God, and he says the following. At that time, when he writes about the chief priest, Western civilization was beginning to arrive in the village where the chief priest was located. So the chief priest then says to his son, when he sees that things are beginning to change in Nigeria at that particular time, he says to his son, the world is changing and I do not like it. He wouldn't like it because his power is now going to be taken away. So he says to his boy, the world is changing and I do not like it. But I am the bird and I can see Oba. When his friends asked him why he was always on the wing, he replied, so this bird, once it knew how to fly, it never perched. It was always flying. This bird known as Enege Ndi Oba. So his friends asked him, but why are you always flying? You don't perch on a branch, a tree, something like that. And he replied, Enege Ndi Oba as follows. Men of today have learned to shoot without missing. And so I have learned to fly without perching. If you perch, you give your enemy the opportunity to shoot you. So I want you, my son, to join these people and be my eye there. I want you to go to the school of the white man, because if I don't know what is happening there, then I'm going to get into trouble. So go to the school of the white man and be my eyes there. If there is nothing in it, so he says, you will come back. But if there is something there, you will bring home my share. The chief priest then continues as follows. I've sent you to be my eyes there. Do not listen to what people say. People who do not know their right arm from the left. No man speaks a lie to his son. I have told you that before. If anyone asks you why you should be sent to learn these new things, tell him that a man must dance a dance prevalent in his time. If anyone asks you why I, as a chief priest, who shouldn't be sending his children to the schools of the white man, tell him that a man must dance the dance of his time. So go and learn the secrets of the white man. You will be my eyes there. And that is why you are here today. Your families and your communities, they have sent you as their eyes to go and find out what is there in the university. If there is nothing, no problem. But if there is something, bring it back for us so that we can come and benefit from it. And that is why then, with your qualification, you must be able to make a contribution, a change, not only to your immediate family, not only to your children. You must make a change in the communities where you are living. You will become now the center of learning for the people where you are staying. So today, you and I, we must dance the new dance. We cannot go on with the old dance because Today, people are speaking about the fourth industrial revolution. So if you and I are not going to dance the new dance, then we are going to find ourselves in trouble. So now there is a gradual shift in the mindset of today's professionals and organizations. They are fueled by the unsettling economic events and the increasing desire for limitless independence offered by digital technology as a result of the fourth industrial revolution. It is changing the way people prefer to work and the way organizations want to engage with their workforce. And this is in sharp contrast to what was happening in the generations of the past. Today, there is a new breed of entrepreneurial professionals emerging that prefer to enrich their knowledge through the internet, through the television, and through the social media. So as you sit here with all this knowledge that we have, we request you to make a contribution and change the communities that we find in South Africa. And it is for that reason that I speak on this subject. Ipsa scientia potestas est. So our universities and colleges must respond to the conditions under which people live. They must be able to make a contribution to change the way we think, the way we do things, so that we can also be able to contribute to what is happening in our societies. So in this graduation ceremony, we're echoing the sentiment of that most celebrated icon of South African freedom, Nelson Mandela, when he said, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. It is only through education that the child of a mine worker can become the manager of the mine. It is only through education that the child of a mine worker," as you are sitting here, your fathers, your mothers are mine workers. But with education, you have changed that position. You are going to become the manager of the mine. The power of education, so he continued, extends beyond the development of skills we need for economic success. It can contribute to nation building and reconciliation. Education is eliminating gender inequality, reducing poverty, creating a sustainable planet, and preventing needless death and illness to fostering peace. And this was said by the icon Nelson Mandela. But you know, when you look sometimes at what is happening in our country, you lament what is happening in our education system. Although we provide for it substantially in terms of money, but the quality that we get from our education system, the management of our education system is not what it should be. We still have schools where children use the pit latrine. They even fall into those toilets, and their parents must come and sue the government. These are the kinds of things that you and I must now begin to talk about. How are we going to change them? We must be able, today in South Africa, we shouldn't have children attending school under a tree, but it is still happening. We have people, if you go out there to the Eastern Cape, there are rivers that they must cross. When they cross these rivers, they are put in in a bucket, and it is closed, and then it is rolled in the sea, so that they must cross that river. These are the things that you and I must now begin to sit down and say they must not happen in our country. In fact, the situation is so concerning that the Mail and Guardian a few years ago conducted a survey of the best education systems that we have got throughout the world. So they made a random sampling of the countries that were to be compared. Obviously, our country did not come out on top. Neither did it come out in the first 10. 148 countries were sampled to find out which one has got the best education system. Out of 148 countries, our position in South Africa was 144. And in those countries, Zimbabwe was included in those countries. And today in South Africa, we complain about Zimbabwe's. What position did Zimbabwe get in that survey? Zimbabwe got position 33. And financially and economically today, Zimbabwe depends on South Africa. But their education system is far much better than ours. So it becomes our responsibility. We have a very serious responsibility. If you thought you were going to brag to your colleagues at work, to the members of the community with the qualification that you have, that is going to be very short-lived. There are many challenges that are facing us as a country, and it becomes your responsibility to ensure that we are able to overcome those challenges. And it is for that reason that I say I chose to speak on ipsa scientia potestas est. So we have very serious challenges in our country, and you and I must roll up our sleeves, and then we must begin to help out where we can, so that our country can become better. The situation is even so dire that some educationists in our country, in the universities, they began to track children when they started a grade not up to their first degree, 15 years of education. Every year in our country, like this year, you've got 1.1 million children entering a grade not. But by the time they go to matric, it is half of that number, 500,000. 12 years later. So what happened to the other 500,000 children? It is even worse. Of these 500,000 children, so researchers indicated, only 100,000 of them will be accepted in universities. And of these 100,000, after 3 years or 4 years of studying for a degree, only 10,000 are going to graduate. From 1 million to 10,000 after 15 years. So we've got a very serious problem in this country. And there is no time for us to sit down and relax and enjoy the qualifications we have. No, the house is burning, and you and I must stand up to go and douse it with water. So we've got serious problems, and that is why I say today I chose this morning to speak about ipsa scientia potestas est. So with this information, you can see that you have got a lot to contribute. You cannot, as Mwalimu indicated, that educated people are isolating themselves from people who are not educated. We cannot afford that luxury in our country, in South Africa. And it is for that reason that one of the Afro-Americans, Malcolm X by name, said the following, that education is the passport to the future. For tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. So you and I must go out there, must roll up our sleeves. We must encourage our people. They may not get jobs at the end of it with the qualifications, with the degrees, with the diplomas, but it is better to have an educated, unemployed people than to have an illiterate one. He is even more dangerous, that kind of person. So you and I have a duty to ensure that our country must become an educated country. You and I have got a responsibility to ensure that we are going to make a contribution to changing what is happening as far as our country is concerned. Remember what Amilcar Cabral said as a revolutionary out here in Africa, and he said, always bear in mind that the people are not fighting for ideas, for the things in anyone's head. Nobody's fighting for that. What is in your head is in your head. They are fighting to win material benefits. And without education, we will not be able to get material benefits. So each and every one of us must strive that all those other people who don't have qualifications, it is our business to ensure that they are going to have qualifications so that they will be able to fight on their own to feed themselves. So they are fighting to win material benefits. And without education, nobody will be able to get material benefits. To live better and in peace. To live better and in peace. And if we can ensure that all the people in our country will get a form of education, then they will be able to have material benefits, then they will be able to live better, and then they will be able to live in peace. To see their lives go forward, they'll be able to see progress as far as their lives is concerned, to guarantee the future of their children. Everybody who is an adult and has children, he wants to see the future of their children guaranteed. So it becomes our responsibility, all of us, to ensure that the future of all the people of South Africa is guaranteed. So I am pleading with you, go out there and help the nation, grasp power through education. And it is for that reason that I decided that today I will speak about ipsa scientia potestas est. Knowledge itself is power. I thank you.
Dr. Kekana, I'm going to use a very unacademic word. In my reaction, wow. Wow. Thank you very, very much for sharing your knowledge and your experience with us. We now have a lot of food for thought. And like Dr. Kekana would say, it's now your time to just go do it. Diplomandi, graduandi, the time has come. You've worked hard for years and semesters. It's now your time to come on stage. I know there's butterflies and I know there's sweaty palms, but enjoy every single moment of it. To that end, I now request Mrs. Lydia Chivazi to present the Diplomandi whose names appear in the program.
Mr. CEO, I request you confer the diploma in management on the following student. The diploma is an NQF level 6 qualification with 360 credits. Apanel AN. Can we give a round of an applause? Valoi NL. Butelezi LZ. Buleu FP. Butelezi CP. Bangani SP. Hopefully that is an item. But vote PD. Cornelius CP. Vareki BC. Dada M. Dada STI. Damini GP. Malaji TR. Apane S. Jumane MJ. Evosang PM. Pakude BC. Pereira JJ. Finger TT. Protein OR. Haji MR. Hasiala STM. Herbert D. Class AA. Host NA. Umede S. Tabela PL. Sakala WL. Ikaning TK. Dini LB. Mr. CEO, the student got 7 distinctions. George DAL. Dancer S. Haddad PMJ. Mr. CEO, the student got 7 distinctions. Muchwane ES. Hasane MC. Kechane SG. Kiva JT. Hosa K. Hosa GL. Kumalo EB. Kumalo GA. Owen BG. Krebs C. Unane SE. Kwaeng MF. Kwati CN. At least it's not negotiating that this is a PhD. Landry PK. Lehora TL. Ligada TBL. Likuleni AM. Lihodi O. Likota LG. Limao BB. Linong MT. Linyanyavidi M. Lisane LS. Litebele TV. Litati LE. Lolonga M. Mabazo SM. Mabena SE. Mabitela ML. Mabogo A. Mabote BJ, Mr. CEO, the student got 7 distinctions. Maboya SP. Machaba Pala LC. Machaka ML. Madiopi MA. Madakana A. Mapolo MF. Magachava A. Makelane NG, Mr. CEO. The student got the qualification cum laude with 9 distinctions. Human Resource Management 1 and 2, Labor Law 1, Labor Relations 1, Management Practice 1, 2, and 3, Training Management 1 and 2. Kekana MM. Makaman KE. Makile PK. Makulejo AN. Matavane KK. Matangu BN. Matangu PV. Maila T. Makate MJ. Makasane NA. Makovo SS, Mr. CEO, the student got 7 distinctions. Malaza KM. Malepe MKL. Maluka NB. Malukane IN. Maluleke TR. Mama Hulo LE. Mama Sodi Z. Mamba DL. Mampu SR. Mangani KA. Manoko IA. Manaso ML. Mahume PD. Manyane TR. Manyati TP. Mapela GM. Manzana FM. Maraga SZ. Maredi TBL. Marole JP. Maseko PG. Maseng GG. Machamba NJ. Machele LS. Machele MC. Mashilwane TLM. Machiane MM. Masilela BMA. Masilela PN. Masindi N. Masipa EL. Masoleng MA. Masoma MN. Masuku LM. Masinyaning ME. Matavane NO. Matanzima P. Matwa MR. Matebula FN. Matebula N. Mateja KR. Mative SMJ. Mashiane GH. Mativedi LP. Matabo AL. Matopa KV. Matakala RS, Mr. CEO, the student got the qualification cum laude with 6 distinctions. Accident and incident investigation, management, business communication 1, health and safety management 1 and 3, manage safety in the workplace, and safety risk assessment. Madala K. Madala TH. Ito ifeleletsa go hae Polokwane. I'm saying she's going to finish it at home. It's going to be. Mato CM. Macho CM. It's okay. I'm in class now. Matsu CM. Matthews JY. Matutu NL. Mawela CR. Mazibuko HL. Boweni W. Muchunu TC. MB. Good girl, my boy. Melanie SD. Mething M. Nklaba NM. Ramaifo TM. Mudiva N. The persons whose names were not read but appear in the program received their qualification in absentia. I thank you. Ndoribwa.
Thank you, Mrs. Chivazi, for the presentation of the diploma in management. Ladies and gentlemen, I now request the Reverend Maurice Malapani to present the graduandi whose names appear in the program.
Mr. CEO, I request that you confer Bachelor of Commerce in Law on the following students. The degree is NQF level 7, qualification with 410 credits. Fonya LS. Eta N. Gori ECD. Longwani NV. Old Wethy AC. Jordan KL. Kekai MR. Langa NJ. Bibilo MM. Maeko MS. Matangu VN. Matasi LH. Makaka KJ. Malete KJ. Manganye V. Mamoko M. Matibese Z. Matala SP. Macheke MP. Magungu T. Mukumbeni CS. Erland PM. CEO, can you compare Bachelor of Business Administration on the students? Sijapala AM. Let's say Afrikaans, the actor of CEO, can you compare diploma in management to Fagude PG? Don't be surprised, their managers, they were delayed somewhere. They are not late. Mallory KG. The persons whose names were not read but appear on the program receive their qualification in absentia.
Thank you, Relevant Malapani. Much appreciated. Just from my side to our diplomandi and graduandi, congratulations. Well done. As an academic, I get that warm feeling in my heart if I see students successfully completing their qualifications. You make me proud. But I'm not always this nice. Now I'm going to give you a direct instruction for the last time. You will take the rest of the day off and you will celebrate till dawn. Well done. Ladies and gentlemen, at STADIO, we also give recognition to exceptional academic achievements. And to this end, I would like to call on Professor Divya Singh, the head of STADIO Academic, and Professor Philip Stoop, the head of School of Law, for the presentation of the academic awards.
Mr. CEO, it's a great pleasure that I present to you the following academic award winners for the Diploma in Management. Students who achieve 75% or more for the subject on their first attempt are considered for these awards. The winners are the top disaster risk reduction 3 student, Nomtemba Miriam Nhlaba, with 87%. The top Human Resources Management 3 student, Matlau Kobia Miriam Matlangu, with 85%. The top public supply chain management 3 student, Sofia Gumede, with 93%. The top records management 3 student, Tanu Baha Lawrence Lekata, with 97%.
Thank you, Professor Singh and Professor Stewart, for the presentation of the academic awards. It's now my privilege to call upon Mrs. Knutse, the Executive Head of Distance Learning at STADIO, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good morning. Please allow me the opportunity to thank the following parties present. Our CEO, Mr. Foster. Thank you for your leadership and for your guidance and for always having our students' best interest at heart. Our Chief Academic Officer, Professor Divya Singh. Thank you for driving the academic project so passionately. It is to the benefit of us all. Our Deputy Registrar, Mr. Rina Folyun. Thank you for your unending support to our students. Dr. Kekana, thank you for your inspirational words of wisdom. Knowledge itself is indeed power. Dr. Jacobs and colleagues joining from the Namibian office, thank you for being here. Reverend Malapane, as our trusted friend of STADIO, thank you. To our MC, Professor Maynard, thank you for your professionalism. Gordon Harris, Dipana Reineke, our service providers and members of the media, thank you. To our academics here on stage, thank you for always going the extra mile for our students and for supporting them. Our support staff, Caroline and her team, thank you for all the hard work and for making this day special for our students. To all our guests, family, and friends, thank you for being here today and for all your support throughout our student studies. Believe me, they appreciate it more than you know. Then to our graduates and our diplomats, I would like you to take a moment and think back to where you started. The courageous decision to embark on this journey, the nerves registering for that first time, the excitement of receiving your very first study guide, writing those first assignments and exams, having to learn Canvas, the dreaded wait for the results, and then the elation of passing, and now the pride of walking over this stage today and obtaining your qualification. You did it. You can be extremely proud. Thank you for trusting us as your lifelong learning partner. We look forward to seeing you again, walking across the stage again and again and again. Our wish for you is that success will follow you wherever you'll go. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Now you know why I am a proud South African. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our proceedings. It's been a momentous occasion. May I please ask you to rise and sing the national anthem, the words of which can be found on the last page of your program. And then also please to remain standing for the dissolution of the congregation and for the academic procession to leave the hall. Please rise.
Anything that follows here. But it comes together and united, we shall stand. As both is other
By virtue of the powers entrusted to me, I now dissolve the congregation of STADIO.